Yeah. So here we go. So I thought we'll just do an opening Tonglen meditation because we are exploring Tonglen and unpacking it a little. And today we're going to introduce a mantra. So you're going to need these. Well, if you don't have them, you're going to have to go and buy them, or the 108 mala beads, and you're going to look like a real Buddhist. You'll be wearing them around your wrist or around your neck, and it won't be fashion ornaments anymore. It'll be super technology. This ancient technology. It's better than AI. It's wonderful practice. And in fact, people think I'm a little bit ADHD because I'm constantly flicking through my beads. Most 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 of the day, I'm just sitting reciting mantras, especially when conversations turn a little bit boring, and or I'm sitting in an Uber, or I'm waiting in a queue, yeah, or on a really boring Teams meeting. You get pulled into these meetings, and half the time you're like, why am I even in this meeting? Let me just pull my beads out, clap a few Omani Padme Hungs, and then, constantly planting seeds. Okay, so we got to get into the mindset that our day can be filled with wonderful opportunities to practice and plant seeds for for a better reality for ourselves, and for a better reality for everyone. Okay, for all beings. Okay, so choosing your comfortable seats, let us enjoy a nice deep breath in, breathing in through the nose, and slowly exhaling it out the nostrils. Breathing in again through the nostrils, and breathing slowly out the nostrils. Again, breathing in, opening your mouth, and gently sigh the breath out. All right, so as we said in the previous class, where is karma stored? Karma is stored in the idea of a you or a me, your name and what you believe is you, your ego, the self that feels separated from other beings. So we imagine ourselves to be a blue angel. Our body is blue light. We have no internal organs or bones or flesh or blood or moisture. But we are radiant like a rainbow, neon in color. In our heart is a beautiful red rose. It is open, it is fragrant. Our heart center. And in the petals of that rose is a sparkling, brilliant diamond. The rose represents your bodhicitta mind, your wish to become enlightened for all beings, which is extremely compassionate. It is your love, loving kindness, and your care, and your compassion, your wish to remove the suffering of yourself and all. And the diamond is a symbol of your wisdom, of understanding where things come from. And with this understanding is a knowing that we can create a life for ourselves, and it is dependent on seeds. It's not coming from anywhere else. It's not coming from the universe or from God, or it's not random. It's coming from our seeds that ripen, that we planted. This is a very empowering idea. We cannot feel victimized if we really understand this. It's all according to us. Just breathe a little bit into the space at your heart center. Breathe into those beautiful petals of the rose. And if you have a visual mind, you can see them start to flutter a little. The diamond sparkles. And this morning we think of somebody in our life that is going through a rough time at the moment. And in an instant, we fly to them. We are sitting on a brightly colored lotus. We are like Buddhas, angel Buddhas. And we are in their space. They can't see us, but we can see them. And as we gaze lovingly at them, we notice inside of them a darkness of suffering and pain. It can be physical, emotional, or mental anguish or pain. And this darkness forms like a thick black smoke that slowly starts to move towards their heart center. It collects. We decide to pull this darkness out of them to remove their pain. And as we do this, we focus on our inhalation of the nostrils. With every in-breath, we encourage that darkness to start to move from their hearts to their nostrils. And it leaves their nostrils and starts to make its way in a long, thin stream towards us. As we breathe, we are pulling the darkness out of them so that they can be free of this pain. And it starts to collect in a space in front of our eyes, our illusory blue eyes. A mess of swirling black darkness, which is their pain. The final wisps of dark smoke leave them. They are free of this pain now, and it is suspended between us. We decide that we will destroy this pain because we have the heart of enlightenment. We have the capacity to do so. And we would love to see them happy. So what we're going to do is breathe in through the left nostril when I say now, and that darkness will travel through us. It will strike the diamond within the rose. There will be a bright white flash of light, like lightning, and that darkness will be destroyed. Exhaling. Inhale through the left nostril. See the darkness smash the diamond, and the diamond explodes into light, bursting into light. The darkness is destroyed. And if you can imagine breathing out light to your friend, and if there's any remnants, please breathe it in again. And as it hits the diamond, there's a bright lightning flash, and it is destroyed. Your friend is free of their pain, and they are free of their misery, and they have nothing but joy, bliss, truth, and clarity. Satchitananda. Dissolve the image of your friend into your heart space. Dissolve your blue body into the flower, and let the flower dissolve into the diamond, and then slowly dissolve the diamond into a tiny tip, a little flame. And as slowly the flame dissolves into clear space. Taking in a deep inhalation through the nose, and then sigh the breath out the mouth. And gently opening your eyes. I think we spoke about Geshe Chikawa last week. The Tonglen master that revived Tonglen in the world about 800 years ago. And we spoke about when he died, he wanted to go to the lowest of realms to help beings, and he was really upset because the Dakinis took him to paradise. He had no choice. See, even if you want to go somewhere, you can't unless your karma approves, if you know what I mean. Not that karma is a being of its own, but you can only, if your motivation is to go to the worst places or take on the worst pain for others, the karma for that is nothing but absolute pleasure and bliss for you. Does that make sense? Are there any questions around this practice of Tonglen that we've just done?
It's not a question, but I'm really blown away by it. It feels very almost, I don't know, like shamanic. I didn't know that there was such a crossover.
So yeah, so Tibetan Buddhism is extremely shamanic, and that's why I'm drawn to it. When when Buddhism came to Tibet, it was about 1,200 years ago. Tibet was a shamanic country, and it was a tradition called Burn. And it was really, really interestingly very shamanic. And then the Buddhist masters were so skillful because they said, let's not destroy the shamanic culture. Let's incorporate the shamanic culture so that we can introduce Buddhism while keeping its shamanic essence. And it was very kind, so that the local people didn't. It wasn't a big struggle for them to take on. It's not like colonialism where it comes into Africa and then completely eradicates ancestral worship and all of that to something completely different, right? It's Buddhism was way kind and very skillful of enlightened masters to go, this is interesting. Let's just adapt. It's fine. We'll keep the core the same, but we'll keep the shamanic practices. So Tibetan Buddhism is also very much based on astrology. There's a very, very strong influence of astrology. Do yourselves a favor, watch the movie The Little Buddha that I've shared on the group. You will see the most amazing shamanic ideas, and also towards the end of the movie where they are in Bhutan. It's actually filmed in Kathmandu. It's filmed in a place where I used to live. and it's just really, really beautiful. And you get a good idea of even the music is otherworldly. It's really nothing like anything you've heard, right? So yeah, internet, it really is very shamanic. Tantra Vajrayana is deeply shamanic, and the Tonglen practice is part of the Vajrayana. It is an open practice, but 800 years ago it was a secret tantric practice. Okay, because the monks thought that the local population would not understand it and would see it as something bad or harmful. Okay. In what way do you think they could see it as harming or upsetting? What do you think now that you've practiced it? Prashima?
Yeah, Mom. Okay. Hi. All right. So for me, the diamond important aspect is you reduce the darkness, but what about the diamond also gets reduced? And so with that, as you give and accept or be the being that helps destroy those worst levels of hell, so but the aspect of self-preservation and self-care, how does that work?
Yes, okay, 100%. So you've hit the nail on the head with that question. There's a concern that you're going to hurt yourself by taking on the darkness of somebody else. Am I right? Yes. Okay, brilliant. You see, that's the answer I was looking for. Thank you. I think you are channeling a Dakini right now. So yes, people feel when I teach this practice that it could harm them. And the diamond is not reduced. The diamond is not, the diamond in the rose stays intact. Okay, it's just as the darkness hits the diamond, the darkness explodes. I'm not sure if I worded that correctly. So the masters say it is that clinging of worry that keeps us trapped in the ego body. It is that idea of what about me and is this going to hurt me, that it keeps us trapped in the samsaric karmic cycle. So let me unpack that a little bit more. What is the proof that it is impossible for you to take on physically the pain of another? Does anybody have any ideas on that?
So I can't say it's proof, but what I can say is the fact that we become a luminous angel without a body, a physical body, means that it's not the body that's going to take on the pain of the other person. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you are, yeah.
Absolutely. So you are no longer, Prashima, you're no longer Antoinette. Okay. And if you're a Buddha, then that cannot hurt you, right? That is very important. Another thing is, if, let's say, Jesus or Krishna or Buddha could really take our pain away, they would have done it by now. If the Dalai Lama could take all the suffering of the world away, he would have done it. But they can't. In fact, it said even at the time of the Buddha, there were people being murdered almost in front of the Buddha in one village, and he couldn't help them. Okay? I mean, Jesus was crucified. He was tortured. He didn't stop that. So there was a karma that he still had to purify before his final enlightenment, which was on the cross. Or it could have been a whole staged play to wake us up and for it to be such a memorable event in history, right? So So the interesting thing is, if an enlightened being could remove your pain, they would have done it already. We wouldn't be having bad days. There'd be no more suffering. But they can't. All they can do is be the physician, the doctor, and say, here is the medicine, and the Sangha, the spiritual community, is the nurse, and the Dharma is the medicine. And the Buddha says, here's the medicine, you need to take it. That's all they can do. So it is impossible for you to take on the pain of somebody else because of that, because otherwise they would have done it. Interestingly enough, for Jesus, when he died, he said, I have destroyed the sins of the world. Okay? Remember, in Catholicism, this is what is taught, right? Jesus died for our sins. Pure Tonglen. Pure Tonglen. So when at the time of death, the best practice that you can do is to take all the pain of the world with you as you die, as Jesus did. And that is Tonglen. Jesus died in a space of Tonglen. For Jesus, the pain of the world was destroyed. For us, it wasn't. Does that make sense? It's difficult. Prashima?
I apologize if I'm not getting, a memory is not good on this, but there was an example of somebody killing someone, some princess or prince at a river, and somebody got killed and he witnessed it. And there was a process of, and our discussion was on, what about those that witnessed the killing? You know, they didn't kill, they weren't killed, but they witnessed the killing. And what happened to their sort of, whatever got imprinted in them about that. And so is this the Tonglen, the process of clearing my own mirror of the killing? Because they're still sinning now, right? And it's difficult, but okay, they're still sinning now, and Jesus died then. And so he died in Tonglen with his sort of power of his impression of the world's sins to have that cleansed impression when he died. But it's his impression.
It's his impression. For him, he destroyed the sins of the world.
Okay.
And in that, he becomes enlightened. So an enlightened being does not suffer, does not see violent acts, does not see, understands them, knows about them, but is not affected by it. In fact, just feels a sense of bliss, a sense of compassion. How can I help? How can I be the next Krishna on this planet? You know, and there's an immense feeling of absolute joy being the Superman or Superwoman of a planet, right? You can imagine that feeling of being a bodhisattva, spiritual warrior, knowing that you can and you will save millions of beings, not just in their lifetime, but in many lifetimes. They will leave an imprint on the world. Still to this day, people are teaching Buddhism. Still to this day, people are teaching Christianity because of that massive example of their enlightenment. So in a way, they have taken on the sins of the world in their legacy, because they are healing the world still to this day, right? They are healing sin to this day.
Yeah, as the example.
As the example. For them, they are removed from seeing a samsaric world. For them, everything is paradise. Everything is nirvana. You know, they can't look at an example I use is a child eating an ice cream. The ice cream falls on the floor. To the child, it's trauma, and screams and cries, but the parent is laughing, going, don't worry, I'll get you another one. So, is the parent sick, deluded? No, the parent knows, listen, it's not a big deal. But for us, this process is a very big deal because we're in it, The ice cream's fallen on the floor and we spend our days crying about it. Whether it's sickness, whether it's whatever we're going through. And the Buddhas are going, my daughter, it's just temporary, it'll end. You don't know what you're sitting on a gold mine, my daughter. You've got so much going. You can have millions of ice creams if you want. Prashima?
So I struggle with Tonglen. I've tried many times, right? And the reason is letting go of the lessons and having trust for the other side of it to then say forgive, and it's forgiven.
Yeah. Tonglen works on your karma. It is a massive, massive karma worker honor. Massive negative karma assassin. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So by doing Tonglen, it removes it assassinates the ego in the most beautiful of ways, because the ego does not want to truly help all beings unless it benefits from it. So you are literally practicing unconditional love and getting used to practicing unconditional love. I will take on the pain of the world. I will do it. I will be the one that becomes the Buddha. I will remove your pain. I will make you happy. Not like, well, what's in it for me? Am I going to benefit? Will I get hurt? These are the things that the masters say are the things that we need to purify in order for us to be liberated. And then, so the question is, will you really save or help that other person? Will they feel the benefit of it or not? Is it just your own process? Any ideas on that? It's tough classes.
I think that it's, for me, the Tonglen process is about intention, the wish for others to be happy, the wish to remove their suffering. And I do think because we are interconnected, we interbe, that there has to be some influence on them, maybe not in the form that we might expect, but I mean, yeah, there has to be some shift, energetic transfer, something like that.
Absolutely. Yay. Nice answer. Really great answer. Because other beings are a projection coming from our karma. Other beings are empty. They are just blank screens walking around, and we project onto them. Therefore, if we purify our projections, they heal, they change. And that is how healing works. There's a Hawaiian technique called Ho'oponopono, where you recite, how does it go? I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Is it that order? Am I right? I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. It's such a powerful prayer, and it relates beautifully, because you're looking at someone. So there was a famous story of a doctor in Hawaii that just healed criminally insane people in a hospital just by chanting for them and looking at their photographs, and he cured them. How? Because that doctor is going, I'm seeing this person as violent, I'm seeing this person as sick, and that is my karma to see them in that way. I'm sorry for that karma, that I have to see you sick. Please forgive me for planting those seeds. I love you. I want to heal you. I want to help you. Thank you. I've received the abundance. I see you as being healed. Thank you. It's done. You see how we can take those 4 lines with an understanding of karma and emptiness, and then truly understand Ho'oponopono. Maybe I need to run a proper Ho'oponopono course. I've been to some that are abysmal, I must be honest. Absolute crap. But this is it. I'm sorry for the karma I planted to see you in this way. You can say it to the world. I'm sorry for the state of this world. It's my doing. Please forgive me. I planted the seed to see the world in this way. I love the world. Thank you. I see a transformed world in my mind. Again, Tonglen practice in a nutshell. Ho'oponopono. So what Kerry said is that they can heal, they will heal, because it's your karma that's forcing you to see them as ill. Are they really sick? Are they really troubled? Who knows? Who knows? Pam?
What I wanted to say, don't we do Tonglen often? Let's say we speak to a friend and sometimes they talk something and I think, oh no, here we go again. But then I take the time and I try to say the right things. That's also a way of Tonglen if we put the consciousness on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody asks me now to look after the animals while they go to Italy and France. And I think, I do you, Bunny, I do you, whatever, that you can go on holiday. You know, I think because of time, I have to do it like this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you are planting wonderful karmic seeds by doing so. Amazing, amazing. I want to share with you another table of karmic correlations that talks directly to Tonglen. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Can you all see the screen? Okay. So here we go. We are looking at the 10 virtues that, you know, protect life, honor property, sexual purity, and so on. Number 1. Oh, actually, these aren't according to the 10 by the looks of it. Oh, there's quite a lot here. Let's go through them. Your body is stricken by some unbearable sickness. The cause is doing harm to the bodies of other people. Antidote: take upon your own body all the sickness that comes to anyone at all. That's how you destroy the karma. You feel any kind of pain inside your own thoughts. The cause is upsetting other people. Antidote: take on yourself the hurt that others feel. See the darkness, breathe it in, boom. You are tormented by feelings of thirst and hunger. Cause: burdening others financially, thieving, stealing, and failing to share. Antidote: take on yourself the hunger and thirst of others. Yeah, the ego's freaking out right now. No, I don't want to do that. No, it's going to hurt me. You've got the ego cornered. Problem: you suffer in the service of another whose authority is more. Cause: arrogance towards those who are less than you and forcing others to do your work. Antidote: force your own body and life into the service of others. You hear unpleasant words from others. Cause: mistakes you've often made in different things you've said, divisive talk and such. Antidote: talk bad only about what you yourself say that's wrong. So you can see it always comes back to you. I'll share this on the group and we can go through it. It seems really, really hard because you and I know everyone's going, but what about self-love? What about self-care? What about me? You know, yes. You know, the thing is, your own happiness, your own resilience, your boundaries, everything is important. This is not saying that you must not care for yourself and let others harm you and destroy your own happiness in the process. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourselves, right? But I'll share this on the group. It's not saying that at all. But the Dalai Lama says, if you want to be ultimately selfish, take care of others. Why does he say that?
He says that because.
Sorry, Pam, you're on mute there.
Oh,
There we go.
I say he said that because we collect merit and we make karma when we take care of others, and it comes back, like you said, we will be taken by the angels to nirvana.
Yes.
I presume.
We need other people to create karma. Without other people, we can't. You also create good karma by looking after yourself, by eating right, sleeping, saying no to too many requests and social commitments. That's also you're just as important as everybody else, right? But if you have the energy to serve a little more than you do, volunteer, animal shelter, go to hospice, go teach meditation in a prison, I don't know, do something where you get your fingers dirty, not just like a monthly debit order from your bank account, but do something like a soup kitchen or something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And in that, you can only experience more pleasure and bliss and happiness in your life. But the more we sort of decide we're not going to do those things, the more we decide, and you don't physically have to go and do these things, but you can do it in Tonglen. You can sit on your bum and do Tonglen, and that's fine. That's good enough. And a lot of people criticize Buddhists as well. Oh, you Buddhists, you don't do anything. You sit in a meditation for 3 years. You should be, spending your time fixing and feeding the hungry. You will never feed all the hungry. You will never help the world. Yes, you can help one or two, but if you want to save the entire world, you can sit on your bum in a 3-year retreat, and the world will be saved. For who will the world be saved? For you.
Yeah.
For you. Because there's no other world that exists. That's the hard part. Remember the pen and the dog. The dog sees a chew toy, you see a pen. The pen is a projection. Suffering world is a projection. It's hard to understand. This is very difficult to understand. But if we do believe in karma, there is no other way. There is no other idea. It can't be, well, it's a little bit of the universe, and then it's a little bit of my karma, and then it's a little bit of good luck, bad luck. That's like, it's a little bit, let's vote DA, let's vote ANC and EEF. We can't. You have to choose one party. You can't vote all three. They all contradict each other. Those three ideas contradict each other. There's so many New Age people going, oh, look what the universe has done now. And I go, where's this universe? Like, who's in charge here? Oh yeah, but it's also my karma. Well, you can't say that. Decide. Karma or the universe. You decide. Karma or God. You decide. Who's in charge, right? Who's in charge? And when you come to the realization of who's in charge, that's the diamond, because nothing can cut a diamond. No bullshit can destroy a diamond, right? It's not costume jewelry, it's a diamond. And there's so much costume jewelry around today. So much. So any other comments or questions?
I just had a thought that it's almost like if you imagine getting tokens, right? There's a movie house, and there are 3 different theaters. So if you're a real a-hole, you get to go to see the horror.
Yeah.
And if you're not so much of an a-hole, then you watch a drama. And if you're you know, if you're a little bit, you got more good seats, then you get to watch a comedy kind of thing. And you can't get out of there until the movie's over.
Sure. Yeah. And it's not real. It's just a projection coming from the projector. Yeah. And it's your movie. You know, and we can see this. Like, I can go to a horror and I can laugh the whole way through the horror because I think it's hilarious. You know, really, I find them so funny. And then someone sitting next to me is like completely terrified and traumatized. You know, same thing. Doesn't disturb me. Gives me a bit of a laugh. Somebody else is terrified. So yeah, we can see emptiness all around us. In your relationship, why don't you see things like I see them? We have arguments with friends, with lovers, with partners, and we get shocked that they see us in a way that we don't see ourselves. Oh my God, how can you see me? How can you see me in this way? You must be mad. No, it's a common argument, right? You must be crazy. But they're not. It's just their seeds that they plant, and it's your seeds to see them see you in that way. So who's to blame? And that's such a beautiful idea, because then that reduces all anger. That reduces all, you know, I have so much anger at my separation, and then I have to come back to emptiness to go, dude, if you really are a Buddhist, how can you be angry at this? Are you just angry with yourself? And that's not self-love. That's not being kind to yourself. Who can you be angry with? You know, just fix it. People say, David says, he often talks about, it's my karma. People, his students say, it's my karma, but this person's an arsehole, you know? And then he says, no, you can't say that. It's my karma, but Eskom are a bunch of clowns, okay? You can't say that. You have to say, it's my karma, so what am I going to do about it? So we have to transform it's my karma but to it's my karma so, right? Because if you say it's my karma but, then it eradicates the first line, it's my karma. Then you don't understand karma. You see? And we got to practice it. And that's why Tonglen, as a regular practice, is so powerful. You know, it's my karma. It's my responsibility to fix this. It's my responsibility to do this. And if you feel uncomfortable doing it for somebody else, then become that blue being of light and do it on yourself. Remember last week, I think we did that on ourselves. Your suffering being, your meat body, your meat cage, you come out of that as a blue being of light. You're looking at yourself. You are working on yourself. And hopefully your karma will be purified enough to see or feel that you can then do it for somebody else. Then you can start choosing your enemy, the person you just hate more than anything, and start doing Tonglen on them. And when you start to do that, you start to rewire, according to neuroscience, you start to rewire your neural pathways of the anger for them. And that's how you get, psychologically, it's sound, because psychologically, you are no longer angry with them, because you are now the being of blue light that is so powerful, that is not jealous, that is not angry, and that is taking on their pain and destroying it, because you realize that they are ignorant, and you realize that they are a product of your karma. Okay, and then you work with your karma, and you work with them in that way, and it softens your heart, it regulates your nervous system, and rewires your neural pathways according to science. So the beautiful thing is that the Dalai Lama has gone to the scientists. I want to show you, and I know this is in the teacher training. This is very cool. While I'm here, let me see if I can find it. just opening. This is awesome. So the Dalai Lama, you know, he finds neuroscientists that are absolutely leading the field, okay, of neuroscience. Renowned. They've published lots of books. They are super famous. And then he goes, knock, knock. Hi, guys. I'm going to send you some nuns and some monks, okay? Do some tests on them. And then they do those tests and they go, oh my God, these guys are superheroes. These guys are superhuman. And he goes, yeah, I told you so. You see, the practice works. So here we go. Where is it now? Can you see my screen? So this here is Mathieu Ricard. He's a French monk in the red dress. That's the Buddhist monk outfit. He is a French monk. He's friends with the Dalai Lama. He was in retreat for 3 years. The guy in the brown jacket with the funky hairdo is Richard Davidson. He is one of the most world-renowned neuroscientists. So Richard Davidson was doing an experiment on happiness, and he wanted to find out where is happiness in the brain, in the human brain. Can you measure happiness? So they found that when people are happy and joyful, there's the gamma, which is the energy in the brain, the electrical energy of the brain, is located in the left hemisphere of your prefrontal cortex. So I'm sorry, people that are on the teacher training, I'm jumping the gun here. So you will hear this later as a repetition. So then they bring in Mathieu Ricard and Yongye Mingyo Dorje Rinpoche, two realized meditation masters that have been in, that pulled them out of a cave, literally, in the Himalayas to come and have their brain scanned. And all they're doing all day is practicing Tonglen. That's all they're doing. For 3 years, they're just practicing Tonglen. So they look at the brain of Mathieu Ricard, and Richard Davidson, neuroscientist, says, oh my God, I can't believe the amount of gamma that these monks are able to generate in the prefrontal cortex left hemisphere. It's off the charts. We've never seen anything like this. Whereas in other people, when they are feeling joy, there's a certain amount of gamma that indicates that they are happy. In these monks, it lit up like a light bulb in terms of the concentration of gamma. If you Google happiest man in the world, if you Google it, you will see none other than pictures of Mathieu Ricard, this French monk. And they asked Mathieu, what are you meditating on? When we put you through the MRI scanner, he said, Tonglen. Tonglen. So scientific evidence shows that by doing Tonglen, you increase your happiness. Not just mildly happy, ecstatically happy. And that for me is one of the most profound experiments ever done in the history of mankind. Because science says Tonglen works. Never mind the shamanic, never mind the spiritual aspect. Talk about the neuroscience aspect, the psychology of it. It works. And Mathieu Ricard said, I was just doing Tonglen for other people. I was seeing myself and others as happy and free of pain. You know? Oh. So, the mantra of Tonglen is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Do you know what it means? Om is a mantra starter. You know, Om is like the most sacred mantra, right? Any spiritual person will tell you. Oh, I think we lost Prashima. Is Prashima here? No. I hope it wasn't something else said. It's a tough one. She was struggling. Om is a mantra generator. Om Mani. Mani means jewel, diamond. Okay, Mani means diamond. Padme means flower or lotus. So in the practice, I've used a rose. Okay, but in Asia they use a lotus. I use a rose because my teacher uses a rose and it's a symbol for Western love, but not in Asia. Okay. So Padme means lotus, and Hung is mind. So basically, what you are saying by reciting the mantra is the diamond is in the rose. That's the meaning of the mantra. The diamond is in the lotus, meaning wisdom and compassion are inseparable. Serving all beings and your happiness is inseparable. Karma and emptiness, inseparable. Because the lotus was, what was the lotus? Compassion, right? Altruism, the wish to become enlightened for all beings. The diamond is the understanding of emptiness. The two are inseparable. They're not different at all. Because when you practice empathy, oh, my friend's suffering, I wonder how they are today. You are exchanging yourself for the other. That is wisdom. Because now you are trying to figure out something beyond your own ego mind. You are trying to understand a different mind, a different perspective. How do they see the world today? Is it different to how I see the world today? That is an emptiness exercise right there. And it's also altruistic. So emptiness and altruism is the same. How does the dog see the pen? Very empathic. That's empathy exercise right there. Oh, the dog doesn't see the pen. The dog sees a chew toy. Wisdom and compassion and empathy all combined in that statement. You see? The diamond and the rose, inseparable.
So then it's non-dualistic.
Yes. It's the same. Wisdom is love, and love is wisdom. But when people say love, do they even know what love means? You know, oh, I love you. Do they even know? It's like, I love you, I want this. I love you, I want pleasure. I love you, I want money. I love you, I need security. Romantic love, you better not cheat on me. You know, what is love? According to Buddhism, love is the wish for the other to be happy. Compassion is the wish to remove their suffering. That is love, that is compassion. And that is Tonglen, the essence of Tonglen. So homework is to do Tonglen, get yourself some beads, and even during the day, you walk around, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. I'm going to have to put it in the group, a mantra recitation, a proper one, because there's some that are not. The Tibetans don't actually say it properly. They say Om Mani Padme Hum. They can't say Padme. They say Peme. They can't even say the word Vajra. They say Dorje. They can't go in their linguistics. They can't pronounce those words because they're Sanskrit words which are proper, but because of their language, they substitute it. And it's not, doesn't mean it's wrong, because the intention behind the sounds are still proper, you know. But it's Om Mani Padme Hum, Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So get yourself some beads. Make sure you use them as much as you can throughout the day without being multitasky, distracted. Find time to use them. And then even in your meditation of Tonglen, you can still recite the mantra, you know, as you are imagining a world of bliss. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. You've ended your Tonglen practice. Let's end off with the meditation. Let's take in a deep breath now. And breathe it out the mouth. And breathing normally, you're that blue being of light. Male, female form, whatever you choose. There's a diamond in the rose at your heart. And your light is shining out to all beings. And as your light from the diamond touches their hearts, all of their pain and suffering is instantly removed. You can do Tonglen on the whole world, in fact. You can imagine the darkness of the whole world as with every inhalation, like a machine, breathing in the darkness, sending out the light, breathing in the darkness, sending out the light. Like St. Francis said, make me a channel of your peace. Let me be the one that transforms like a machine. And as you do this, bringing in the darkness, exploding it, sending out the light, you can say, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. May all beings be happy and have the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the highest bliss, which is without suffering. And may they come to rest in the great equanimity, which is free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May the precious and sublime awakened mind arise in those where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it never wane, but continue to expand forevermore. Sure, it's getting very noisy here. Everyone's looking at me singing Om Mani Padme Hum, so like, what's this guy doing? Anyway, I don't care. It's good karma for them, right? You must chant it for your animals. If you've got a cat or a dog, just by chanting Om Mani Padme Hum can affect their rebirth in a very positive way, okay? And if they start chanting back, wow, then that's cool. You can. I mean, literally, it's possible. Right? Anything's possible if you understand karma and emptiness. Your dog can start chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, no problem. Wake up in the morning, Om Mani Padme Hum, oh, yeah. No, really, it's possible. I really believe it's possible. Okay, I think that's very difficult class today. Anybody that hasn't been doing the last 15 or 16 weeks would probably like run away or freak out at this class, okay? Not easy. You can see why enlightenment is so hard, because the ego is so powerful, and this class really doesn't make the ego very happy at all. So sorry, egos. But egos are good and have kept us alive in many ways for centuries, but they need to be transformed. And ego is this. My ego's named Sparky. I'm working with a shaman, and he said I must name my ego. So every time I feel not heard or belittled or afraid or what can I say, unseen, or I must just say, okay, Sparky, it's okay, Sparky, and do a little Tonglen on Sparky. So maybe next week find your ego's name, give her a name, and we can share your names for your egos. Okay. Will you remind me next week? We'll do that. Okay, I'm sorry, time's up. Thanks, Internet. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for joining, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to teach. Bye.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.